Hello, welcome back to Fred in the Shed. We're up in the Radio Shack, but not a radio video on this one. Something a bit different. I was contacted a while ago by KINGBOLEN and they offered me to do a review on this OBD2 scan tool. In a second, we'll crack open the box, we'll have a look at the scanner itself, assess its quality, and then later on I'll move on and connect this to my car and we'll scan for any fault codes. If you've owned one of these scanners before, maybe you're looking for an upgrade, then you might just want to skip the next bit and go on to the unboxing and the testing. However, if you've not owned a scan tool before, and most likely you're watching this video because you've got a warning light come up on your dashboard on your car, which is very worrying, and you're worried about what it might be, what it might cost you to get it repaired, then carry on and watch the next bit, because I'm not an expert on these scan tools at all. I've owned a couple and I just want to pass on some information that might save you a little bit of money. First thing that I'm going to say is whatever scan tool or diagnostic device that you buy, be very careful that there's not a subscription charge that you have to pay each year to upgrade the software. Also, and I learnt this by my own experience, I bought a cheaper scan tool. I've had this a few years and it worked absolutely fine for a couple of years, but then the software needed updating, and on this one there was no way I could update it, so I sort of lost my money. KINGBOLEN, they offer a free upgrade software service for life. They say there is no charge to update the software, and that is something you want to look out for. Although this scanner looks very professional, actually, it's got a 5-inch very clear touchscreen. This S500 model is an entry level scanner. If you've perhaps taken on a project, something like a 10-year-old Range Rover, 10-year-old Range Rover, you might want to probably go for the more advanced model in this range, something that is bi-directional, something that will turn off many more check engine lights and warning codes. You're going to find if you search reviews on this, I'm sure that more professional home mechanics will criticise these because they're not bi-directional, but like I say, most people, you really won't need it. KINGBOLEN, it's not a name that comes up that I know, just something that they sent in. I have checked their Amazon website. They do a whole range of these scan tools, starting from very little money, just over £20 for a YA100, which is a very basic handheld scan tool, which should be able to give you the fault code that your car may be generating and switch off basic lights like the engine management light. For just a little bit more money, I saw they do a YA200 fault code reader, about £30. That should give you a few more options. If you don't mind using your mobile phone, and I'm a bit old school, I don't particularly want all these apps on my phone slowing it down, but if you don't mind using your phone, they do a mini OBD2 Bluetooth reader that you can plug into your socket on your car. That's about £45, something like that. Got the same sort of functionality as one of these. And then also for £80 they will do a bi-directional scanner, which has all those optional extra features that you might want. It's about £80, but obviously you will have to use your mobile phone. This comes with a very nice 5-inch colour touchscreen. There were 3 models in the range. They all look the same from the outside, so you just want to make sure that you get the model that's suitable for you. As you move up the range, you have more options to turn off more service and more warning lights. This one, the basic model, is the S500. Costs about £129 on Amazon. Has 4 service light resets. That's for your oil reminder service, brake reminder service, SAS, which is the steering angle sensor service light, and also a throttle actuator service light, if that comes on. I've never seen that one. As far as diagnostics and warning lights, it will turn off the check engine light, which is probably your most common light. ABS warning light comes on. This will be able to diagnose it, tell you the code and turn that off. SRS light, which is normally your airbags and pre-tension seat belts. Again, read the fault code and you can turn that off. And then finally, on certain models with automatic transmissions, it has a TCM, which is a transmission control module warning light. Again, should be able to read that on certain models, not all models, and it can switch that warning light off. I think the most important ones there is the engine management light and the ABS and the SRS, because all of those, or the SRS and the ABS, are MOT failures here in the UK. Moving up to the next model is the S600. It looks exactly the same as this, but it will turn off an additional 4 warning lights and service lights. So in total, it will do 8 resets. Rather confusingly, on Amazon at the moment, I checked, that's going for £135. So it's only £6 more than this model, so it would probably make sense to maybe pay the extra. And then finally, the top model, which is the S800, that has 15 resets in total. That goes for about £190 with Amazon's usual offers. Whew, that was a lot of information. I hope that's not put you off the video, but the bottom line is, if you're going to buy into one of these, just make sure that you buy the model that will turn off the fault code that you're looking for. Sometimes if you buy cheap, you have to buy twice. Right, let's crack into the box and see what we get for our money. Firstly, yeah, rather nice colour instruction booklet. I'm a bit anal about instruction booklets. I know it's all online now. This one, yeah, I think it's absolutely fine. It's got some nice diagrams there, it explains everything. If you've never used one of these before, they're pretty easy to use. You just basically plug them in. But it does explain pretty much all of the file management and the menu, so pretty good there. Unit itself, it's tough. Oh, it's hard in the box there. Yeah, it's quite a nice sized unit. Let's just switch that on, hold the on down button. It does feel quite chunky. Certainly looks like it would stand up to a few knocks if you're going to use this around the garage. As I mentioned, a 5-inch colour touchscreen. Nice resolution. I think it's about 850 by 480, so nice and sharp, especially if you wear glasses. Those of you that are a bit geeky and you want to know the spec, this is running Android 6. It's got a 4-core processor, 5G Wi-Fi, it has Bluetooth. The built-in lithium-ion battery is 1500 mAh. It has 16 gigabytes of internal storage, and then you have an SD card slot which supports a maximum of 256 gigabytes. Most of this is not going to be active until we connect it to a car, of course. There is one thing I noticed that's quite interesting. In the repair info section, there is a lookup for an OBD fault code library. This could be quite handy if maybe a family member or a colleague at work or a friend, if they've got a known fault code and they don't know what it is, you can just quickly type it in here, search it, and it might put their mind at rest. As far as what else is in the box, well, not much really. We have a serial data to OBD2 port for the unit itself, and then we have a charge cable which is a USB-C. I think this will update via Wi-Fi because it's showing me a Wi-Fi symbol there. I've not connected this to my router, but yeah, I think the updates can be done wirelessly. So yeah, overall impression out of the box, it does feel a nice bit of kit. I just prefer to have a standalone unit, something I can hold in my hands. I don't like messing about with my mobile phone, wearing the battery out. Anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to take this down, we're going to plug it into my old car. So here we are in my Volvo C70. Now, if you've not used a scanner before, your first issue is going to be to find out where your OBD port is. YouTube have got that covered. Just search in your model and you'll find it. Conveniently, on the Volvo, it's just under the central armrest here. Remove a little cover and there it is. To start with, you have the ignition on the car off, then you plug in the scanner into the OBD2 port there. There we go, that comes alive. That also starts charging the scanner. It's also giving me a battery reading. I know you can't quite see that on the screen. We'll zoom in a moment. Then you can then go ahead and switch the ignition on your car. Now, depending on the age of your car, this car is a 2005 Volvo C70. I believe it came out in 1999, so it's pretty 24 years old. It probably hasn't got all of the information that the scanner will look for. If you've got a more modern car, you'll get probably a lot more detail, like the VIN registration and things like that. I'm going to apologise for the reflections. It is a very bright day. So firstly, we've got to tell the scanner what car we're in. The first thing is the scanner needs to talk to the car, work out what car it's fitted to. There is an auto search feature. I think if you've got any car that's probably 10 years old or less, that will work. It will identify the VIN number that's stored in the car's ECU. This car is going to be too old. It's a 20-year-old design, or maybe 24 years old. There is a manual way of doing it, the old-fashioned way, and as you can see on the screen now, all of your car manufacturers are listed. You can shortcut that by going American and going Euro, and once you pick the make, you just then pick the model. So I'm going to do that off camera so we know what car we're looking at. Here on the screen we have chosen Volvo. I can't actually see what I'm doing. So C70, convertible and coupe, there are two options, and then we just got to choose the year, which is a 2005. And there we go. Hopefully you can see that. So now these are all the options what I can scan for to see. Also, I noticed it includes the rollover protection for the convertible top, so that's quite good because that is a very tricky code to analyse. Just going to do a basic scan now. As far as I'm aware, there's no lights on the dashboard, no fault code. So I'm just going to click where it says ECM, and then now we can go to read fault code. There shouldn't be any on there. And there you go. We've got a complete blank screen. If we did have any faults, they would now come up on the screen. As I say, I've got nothing on the dashboard, so that's telling me that there are no stored fault codes, which is nice to know. If there was a fault code come up on the car, you'd get a basic description here. It would give you an idea of what's gone on. So that's all pretty boring, isn't it? There's one thing that we'll do, because this does the rollover protection for the convertible roof. I'll run a scan on that, because normally for that to operate you need to have the engine running. That requires a lot of power for the hydraulic pump. I have a feeling there wouldn't be enough power. So let me just do that one. So we'll say, yep, okay for that. Communication, yep. We'll go okay. This tells me the ECU number if I wanted to replace it, and then we'll just go for a scan and read fault codes. And there you go. There you go. We have a fault code number there, and that says battery voltage signal too low, which is what I suspected. It's because the car is not running, and it's telling me there isn't enough to power the hydraulic pump. So that would be quite useful if I had a bad relay or a bad connection on the ECU on the hood there. So it's picked that up, so that's quite good really. Just moving on from that fault code, I'm just going to check the battery voltage, because I know the battery is a little bit low on this car, hasn't been used recently. So on here I can select battery voltage, and then I can click OK. And there we go. I don't know if you can see that. So it's saying that we've got 11.70 volts. So the battery is a bit low. This car's been standing for about 4 weeks when I've been on holiday. So the battery does need a charge. And that's why the rollover protection is saying that there's low power there. Obviously when the car is running, this should increase up to 14.3 volts or something like that. And there would be plenty of power. So I hope that is a basic demonstration. Unfortunately, this car hasn't got any fault codes. Well, fortunately for me. But there is a demo that you can run on the system here, just to give you an idea of a car with fault codes. So what I'll do, we'll just pop indoors out of this sunshine, and then I'll just show you that. I do appreciate that was very difficult for you to see. It wasn't the best demonstration, but there is a demo built into the device, which is quite useful for just getting a feel for this before you connect it to your car. We're going to Diagnostics here, and then you can see there's the auto search, there's the history, and it says demo. So we'll click demo, and we'll say we want to go for a demo. And there's just a few basic demos in here. I think there's about 4 or 5 manufacturers. There we go. So we've got Ford, Chevrolet. We're going to go for the Toyota demo here. Yeah, so again, it's saying switch the ignition switch on. We're saying we've done that. Picks up the vehicle information. This time it does pick up the VIN number, because this example is a much newer model than my car. And firstly, we'll go for a health report, just to get a basic idea how the car is functioning. So it's doing a scan. Straight away it's picked up 2 faults on the engine management system, transmission, airbag, theft detection, steering angle, telemetrics. It's also doing the electric door mirrors, passenger and driver's side. Electronic parking brake as well, if you've got that fitted. And also the rear left and right door locks. And yeah, everything seems absolutely fine, except it's got 2 engine faults. So we'd have a look at those. And here we go. We can either clear the faults without reading them, but we want to find out what they are. So we're going to go to read fault code. And there we go. So on this example, you have this P2118. That is a throttle actuator, the electronic throttle control. It's the motor range via performance, so that might be dirty or faulty. And then also you have a fault with the brake switch. One last thing before I forget, you can simply take a screenshot at any time during the diagnostic process. You've got that little camera button there, press that, and it will take a screenshot and it will save it into the internal 16GB memory. So if you forget the code, you can simply go back and read it at your leisure. I'm going to come just to the conclusion part of the video, this KINGBOLEN S500. Would I recommend this for the average Joe as a usable scanner? And yeah, I think I would. I think I would recommend it. If you don't want to use your phone and have an app on your phone, it's a nicely made scanner. It looks a lot more expensive than it really is. It is, at the end of the day, a basic scanner, but it does cover all of the major functions that you would want: switching off the engine management light, reading the fault codes, ABS light, airbag. As far as value wise, I say it's a nicely made piece of kit, about £125 or whatever it is on Amazon with the discounts. Yeah, I would say it's probably about right. And of course the S600 is only another £15 more. Moving up the range, when you come up to the S800, I'm not sure whether that's such good value. £250 sort of retail, and it doesn't include bi-directional scanning, which I explained about earlier in the video. And in fact, I think it would be nice, as this is sort of a medium range product for KINGBOLEN. I think it would be nice if they could have included bi-directional scanning on this model. It just gives you that extra level of scanning diagnostics if you want it. But like I said, this will cover most of what everybody wants. My only final criticism of the unit, and it's a bit of a bugbear with me, is the fact that it's a very nice unit. It's got this very nice clear screen, but it doesn't come with any protective carry case. You just get the box and then you've got all the cables to look after. Even my cheap code reader from back in the day came with a rather nice protective case, and that was only about £35. So yeah, I think they're being a bit tight, not including even a soft case for this model just to keep the dirt and dust out. I think that's about it. All I can tell you about this KINGBOLEN S500 scanner. I'll leave a link in the description if you are interested in buying. That goes to the Amazon website. Obviously with Amazon at the moment, look out for special daily deals, weekend deals, Black Friday deals, things like that. So I hope this video has been useful to you if you're looking for a scanner. There's the thumbs up for Fred in his Shed for your view time. Thank you for dropping by. Small channel, don't get that many views. If you get a second, just hit me a thumbs up down below. I'd appreciate that. But as for now, as always, please look after each other. Cheers for watching. Catch you on the next one.